ladies and gentlemen. During the first lockdown in March 2020, Black men and women in record numbers were becoming corporations and also applying for business licenses, right? Because they realized they didn't want to go back out in the workplace. They wanted to work for themselves. Well, now there's an explosion nationwide of workers quitting their jobs in droves and becoming their own bosses. This came out on the Wall Street Journal, November 29th, 2021. I'm going to go ahead and play this audio. Workers quit jobs in droves to become their own bosses. Seeking flexibility or escape from corporate bureaucracy, employees discover their inner entrepreneur. By Josh Mitchell and Catherine Dill. November 29th, 2021, 10:19 a.m. Eastern Time. The pandemic has unleashed a historic burst in entrepreneurship and self-employment. Hundreds of thousands of Americans are striking out on their own as consultants, retailers, and small business owners. The move helps explain the ongoing shakeup in the world of work, with more people looking for flexibility, anxious about COVID exposure, upset about vaccine mandates, or simply disenchanted with pre-pandemic office life. It is also aggravating labor shortages in some industries and adding pressure on companies to revamp their employment policies. The number of unincorporated self-employed workers has risen by 500,000 since the start of the pandemic, Labor Department data show, to 9.44 million. That is the highest total since the financial crisis year 2008, except for this summer. The total amounts to an increase of 6% in the self-employed, while the overall U.S. employment total remains nearly 3% lower than before the pandemic. Entrepreneurs applied for federal tax identification numbers to register 4.54 million new businesses from January through October this year, up 56% from the same period of 2019, Census Bureau data show. That was the largest number on records that date back to 2004. Two-thirds were for businesses that aren't expected to hire employees. This year, the share of U.S. workers who work for a company with at least 1,000 employees has fallen for the first time since 2004, Labor Department data show. Meanwhile, the percentage of U.S. workers who are self-employed has risen to the highest in 11 years. In October, they represented 5.9% of U.S. workers versus 5.4% in February 2020. The self-employment increase coincides with complaints by many U.S. companies of difficulties, in some cases extreme, in finding and retaining enough employees. In September, U.S. workers resigned from a record 4.4 million jobs, Labor Department data show. Kimberly Friddle, 50 years old, quit her job as head of marketing for a regional mortgage company near Dallas in September 2020. Her daughters in the 6th and 8th grade were struggling with attending school virtually, and months into the pandemic, both were showing signs of anxiety. Although her employer was understanding, she wanted flexibility to provide them help without juggling Zoom meetings and projects. Ms. Friddle planned to stay home indefinitely with the support of her husband, a pharmaceutical company executive. But when a friend contacted her the next month, she saw an opportunity. The friend sold home decor items on Amazon.com from his home in Canada, and COVID-related border restrictions were making it difficult to process returns. When he explained what he needed, primarily, someone to examine returned items for damage and ship them back to Amazon, Ms. Friddle felt the work could be a good challenge and a chance for her older daughter, Samantha, to gain some work experience. They began processing returns for him steadily. When other Amazon sellers he knew needed help with warehouse-related tasks that were also made harder by the pandemic, he referred them to Ms. Friddle. Now she runs an Amazon logistics, warehousing and fulfillment business full-time from the family's home outside Houston and rented warehouse space nearby. Her older daughter works with her about 10 hours a week, and Ms. Friddle recently hired an assistant. She hopes to expand her services to Walmart vendors. In July, the family's monthly income returned to roughly what it was when she worked in marketing, Ms. Friddle said. Though the decision to leave that job was an emotional one, she said, a change after 27 years has given her new energy and confidence in addition to the flexibility. I didn't have a plan when I left, she said. I wasn't giving enough attention to the needs of my family. I wasn't giving enough attention to the job that needed to be done. I felt like I was failing everywhere. Now I feel so successful, and I wake up every day like, I wonder what's going to happen today. Through the late 19th century, a large share of Americans worked for themselves, as farmers or artisans. With new technologies such as electric lighting, manufacturing expanded, and many people left the field for the factory floor. They landed in an environment of strictly defined work hours and hierarchies, workers overseen by managers overseen by executives. By the time COVID 19 arrived in the US, the advent of apps, websites, and companies catering to entrepreneurs and freelancers was already giving employees options. Then the pandemic spurred some people to pause and reevaluate their priorities, said Aaron DeSmet, a McKinsey and Company senior partner and consultant on labor trends. When you have a big event where everybody takes stock and trends are already in place, people working for an employer never thought of doing freelance, but now when they think about it, why not? Marcus Grimm, a 50-year-old in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, worked at advertising agencies from the time he finished college. For years he toyed with freelancing. I had always considered it, but literally just never had the guts to make the move, he said. I was scared I would lose sleep every night worrying about my next dollar. Early in the pandemic, Mr. Grimm, a married father of two grown children, was laid off. He logged onto Upwork, a website that connects freelance workers from a wide range of industries with potential clients. He fielded several assignments doing ad campaigns for big companies, charging a low hourly rate. Business flowed in. He has steadily raised his rate to $150 an hour. Mr. Grimm said he now earns more than in his old job, which paid $130,000 a year. His favorite part is not having to deal with corporate politics or any bureaucracy. He can go kayaking in the middle of the day. I'm the one who finds the client, I'm the one who does the work, and I'm the one who deals with any of the problems that come up, he said. One client offered to hire him full time, but he declined, Mr. Grimm said. I told them I've seen the light. Etsy Incorporated, an online marketplace for individuals to buy and sell items, says it had 7.5 million active sellers as of September 30th, up 2.6 million from that time in 2019. 8 in 10 are women. Its surveys indicate more than 4 in 10 of the new sellers started their businesses for reasons related to the pandemic, including for some the need to stay home to care for family members.
That is true. And I heard Walmart, they also have a website up where you can buy and sell. And from what I'm understanding, this is just feedback from people that are over there. They're saying you make way more money than you would on eBay or Amazon. So people are heavily flocking over there to sell their items and things they make at home, like their soaps and oils and everything. And they're doing quite well. I mean, I can't say that I really don't blame them, because at least you are in charge of what your day is going to be like. You don't have to report to anybody. You don't have to be involved in the office politics, office racism, and all the drama that's on these jobs. I don't blame people for wanting to get up every day and do for self. That is very liberating. Who would want to give that up to go back out here into these jobs? So I'm not surprised, but I would expect it's probably going to go up even more with people leaving jobs and becoming entrepreneurs. I don't blame them. I mean, seriously, most people are miserable on these jobs. They hate their bosses, they hate the companies they work for, and just the whole overall environment that they're in every day. A lot of people, that's why they are leaving. They don't like these jobs. And the people that own these businesses, many times they make jobs even, they make the job even worse for you. So I don't blame folks. And I think this is really going to be the future. People looking to do their own businesses. You know, you always had people pursuing that, but I think now that the pandemic is out here and most people know it's not going anywhere, you're going to see this ramp up even more. Hey, if you can find a way to make it, I think that's a beautiful thing. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.